Well, my reaction to Matthew Hedges' case is that it's quite shocking that the UAE has put such a sort of spanner in the woodworks of what was a very strong diplomatic relationship between the UK and the UAE, and it's extremely surprising. We've seen a number of arrests of a similar nature in the past in the UAE, but in most cases they have released the person even if there's cause to keep them. So in this case, I think that they're sending a very strong message to the UK government that they're no longer willing to cooperate as an ally. The one that Matthew Hedges has been advising in the United States. The UAE prisons have not been reviewed by foreign governments, although the courts and diplomatic ties have asked to review the conditions in the prisons after allegations of torture and human rights abuses. At the moment, we have several open United Nations applications about torture and human rights violations within the penal system in the UAE. Now, the UAE has failed to respond to these very United Nations applications, and they've failed to allow any sort of independent analysis of the prison conditions. So we're extremely concerned for the conditions that that Matthew would be facing at this time, which could include torture. Coming from the fact that there are arbitrary arrests, well, what we've seen over the past 10 years is that diplomatic relations have been extremely strong with the UAE, and that's from the UK, the US and their allies. And that's largely because of trade agreements. The problem is now that these type of cases like Matthew Hedges are coming up with such frequency that the governments cannot ignore it anymore, and it's coming to a head. And they do have to say to the UAE, you have to stop doing this to our citizens. We can't tolerate it anymore. There's a vendetta against them even, and they could be arrested for that. I think that the UAE is sending a very clear message to the academic community that they don't want them to find out what is hidden behind the marketing and the public relations persona that the country has been promoting for the past decade.